As a added side note here, I found a little different way to do this. I found some plywood. Actually, I like the longer one better because you can pick it up. This gets a little too close to the surface, and you can not. But then you do with this, you can then pick it up and move it wherever you need to get it to burn what you need to, and you don't have to worry about it. It's just a cheap way to do it. Like I said, just be careful because the closer it gets to there, the more apt it might be to arc to your fingers. And there again, you don't want that happening if you can keep from it. And you want to make sure you keep these dry, obviously, because if they get wet, they're useless, okay? So it's just not the safest way to do things. The safest way is obviously to have those big, long insulator things that you can use, and it's just, but for a makeshift, for what we're trying to do, it works pretty well. Like I said, you just got to be careful not to get too close to the heads. And then, like I said, I like the longer ones because I can move it easier and not have things go on, and then I can kind of lay it over to the side. You can see it burning. So anyway, just as a precautionary here. By the way, I'm going to take you out and show you the other one. The other one's getting dry. Maybe if I can find it here. Here's our other one, the one that's been dry. Been through the process. I've got some burn marks here that I don't like, but it's par for the course. Like I said, it's just a matter of playing with it and seeing what it likes. Yeah, I've got some deeper burns here, which are cool and whatnot. So those are just deeper in one spot. So anyway, there's kind of how everything's going. And I just, yeah, for real, just walked away and left the thing burn over here. So, but that just gives you an idea what's going on. You can see this one with the pattern that it has and stuff. I've got a little different style that I did with it. It's just a matter of playing with how moist you want the wood, etc, etc, etc. But anyway, I'll hop back to this and I'll show you the finishing process when we get everything dried. Okay, this is our first table that we did. Alright, as you can tell, it's dry. We've got everything done on it. We've using Sparthing water based. I'm not a big fan of it, but that's again, it doesn't discolor the wood as bad. And on this stuff, rather, it's first of all, make sure you got a dust-free area here. See the sawdust. Okay, on this stuff here, you want to make sure you stir it, not shake it, because you'll have bubbles all up in it. So, and that will make it a lot more difficult because you'll have bubbles all up in it. So kind of stir it slow. Okay. And you'll kind of feel the stuff on the bottom. You just kind of go around and get it off the bottom and get it stirred back up. And like so. This stuff looks white, but it'll dry clear. Okay. I'm going to show you a little bit about these brushes too, okay? These brushes. This is water-based, so I can clean it up, okay? Whoever used this last didn't clean it up well, but they did get the the brushes itself clean, okay? And how you do that is when you rinse them out. You can use a full-size wire brush, or in my case, I have this little thing that came with the gun clip. You get it wet, rinse out as much as you can, and then you start scrubbing away at these, and that gets all that extra paint out of there. And then you save this to put it back in, and that will keep your brushes looking nice and neat, and you can use them for years to come. So this isn't a real expensive brush, but it is a name brand brush. So anyway, back to it here. I'm going to go ahead and first of all, I'm going to take you out to the outside here. This is our second one that we did out here. It's in the sun drying. It won't take too long for it to dry. It's already in process. A little different pattern on it. You see that or not? It's kind of cool. The water makes it a little darker, but it's a little different pattern on it and stuff. Like I said, hopefully by the time I get done with that one and explaining all this, that one will be ready to go. But now we're coming back to here. Okay. Now that you have our brush, you want a dust-free environment. I don't have the fan on right now because I don't want it things. So nice even strokes. You dip in. You try to I'm seeing chunks. I don't like chunks. But just kind of pat off the extras and just start at one end. And kind of be liberal with it, you know. I didn't go very far there, so I'm going back. I'm getting some more, and I'm just kind of dabbing it off, and then, well, just try not to get it everywhere like I do. But it's just as simple as that. And then when you get done, this is water-based cleanup, so you don't have to have anything special. You see that little white stuff that's collecting in the things. You want to thin that out a little bit because it'll stick there and it won't work so well. It looks like it's darkening the wood, but it's actually not right now. When it dries, it'll be fantastic. I try to paint the ends too, and what I'll end up doing is I'll end up doing the legs and all this too. It is treated. I know you don't have to do this, but they're again, the customers wanting an extra layer of protection. So we should never ever have to worry about this rotting or going anywhere. So not that it probably it will eventually anyway, but it'll be hopefully for years to come that they can have this and pass it down to their grandkids or what have you. So now, as you can see, there's a little bit of white on here, and that's okay because we can just take the brush and thin it back out, and that's what we'll do is we'll just get that stuff out of there. But like I said, it'll come on there, and it actually is clear when it dries, like the part that I showed you out front. So, also another thing, if you're ever doing your deck and stuff, Thompson's water seal works great on this too, by the way. But your ends, when you cut your ends, you need to seal them up with like Thompson's water seal or something like that right after you cut them, just to keep them from drying out too quick and bowing and all that jazz. Just kind of a FYI. But like I said, these are made out of deck boards, and yeah, so we're going to go ahead and continue to get this painted. You can see that I'm going over it with a couple layers here, but just to get the excess off. But we'll get this and set out to dry, and we'll get the other one going and show you a little bit on it. Okay, now this is a satin finish on this particular one out here. This is the one I just finished up. I've got a little bit more touch-up work to do here, but it'll be a satin finish. It's not dry yet. But we're going to put another coat on it, and then as we walk over here, we'll see this one's getting pretty close to being dry out in the sun. We're not quite there yet, but it's getting there. So we're going to let that set for a minute, and what we'll probably do is I'm going to treat this one in here, the top of it at least. So that's why I wasn't too concerned about spilling stuff on top of it, and then that'll help waterproof everything and whatnot. So but that's pretty much how you do this. From some scrap wood, a little bit of patience, and occasionally a few cuss words. But anyway, we won't go there. So that's how it's done, and then I'm going to rinse, lather, repeat on my other one. When it dries, it'll be not quite that dark. I think I told you, see, you know, one out there on the front porch here. This was getting drier, but those were wet. And then when it dries, I've got this round one out here that I overdid it, but there's about what color and stuff that it would be. I can't get out here in the sun, so you can see that it didn't darken as much as what the other one back here is. So that being said, that's kind of how this is going to work, you know. So it'll lighten up, but we'll show you another video when we get everything done. And when I get this last one done, I will show you how to clean the paintbrush, in case you didn't understand, or don't know how to clean them. So we'll use the hose for that, but you can. I mean, you can do it inside. I don't know, but yeah. And in the meantime, if you need to keep your paintbrush damp, so you don't. Now this works with water base. You can wrap it in a damp towel or a plastic bag, and it will keep the brush from getting dry on you. But like I said, this is basically spar thing. Well, it is spar thing. but all it is polyurethane that's water based. And this is a satin finish on this particular one. You can use a high gloss, but you see that that's got a pretty good gleam to it. So anyway, till next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Let me know in the comments what you want to see, what you think, etc. Thanks. Have a great